Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today is Sunday, the 21st of July, and I wanted to begin by telling you about next week's weekly lesson. Here in the UK, we don't have identity cards. Because we don't have identity cards, we need to prove who we are. We need to circumvent regulations and rules when we're told to present ID. It seems a little bit strange that we don't have ID cards, but this is all about democracy. And the government isn't allowed to keep one central database which could be used to discriminate against us. Probably in the future, at some point, we are going to have them. I would guess as we move forward and there's such a need to identify ourselves through nationalism, no doubt it's something which at some point in the future, somebody is going to try to bring in. So that's next week's lesson, all about identity cards. I wanted to take a moment to tell you that I really enjoy writing these lessons for you. And the idea behind these lessons is to move you from B2 to C1. I'm well aware that many of you don't identify with all of the subjects, but I'm sure as time goes on, there'll be something there for everyone. As well as doing these daily podcasts, I introduced a daily video clip. In the beginning, these podcasts started as very simple audio, which were on the platform I was working on. As they slowly expanded, they ended up as kind of daily news shows focusing in on idioms. Then they expanded again and overflowed into YouTube clips about British life and culture. The idea really is to get you away from grammar and to experience English life and English living as it is. These days I'm producing audio and transcript for the main weekly lesson and the podcasts during the week and the video clips support the weekly lesson. If you don't know what the weekly lesson is, or if you haven't seen it, please visit teacherjoseph.com and you'll see it in the main menu at the top. And you can also see it in the blog as it's posted separately as well. The podcast is available on Spotify and YouTube, and the video clips are on YouTube. As the presentation of audio moved forward, we moved on to YouTube, and I've been looking at the stats as to what all of you like. From my point of view, the problem is whether to brand my YouTube channel as a learning channel or whether to brand it simply as cultural awareness. Because of the way I speak and because I am a teacher, I love the idea that you're learning something. But on the other hand, it really is for everyone, not only for learners. So I rebranded it from being a kind of a basic education channel into a coach, which is kind of motivational for anyone who's learning any language, including English people. I've been looking over the statistics for those of you who like to listen to my podcast on Spotify and also my YouTube statistics. It's very clear that many of you really enjoy the weekly lesson, especially those of you who are trying hard to get to that C1 level. It's also clear, though, that the longer the video clip, the less chance there is of people watching it completely unless it's something that they're very, very interested in. I really love making content for you. I love creating video clips about where I live, about the things that I do daily. And I also love sharing with you my love of languages and the beauty of language itself. Having said all of that, though, it doesn't seem to be what all of you want. There's always a conflict about, well, will I learn something from this? Or is it just another thing about British culture? Some of you prefer grammar and words, others prefer visual displays. Some of you like this idea of storytelling, whereas many of you have told me that you're looking for something much more instructional, something related directly to speaking better. And over the years, I think I've covered more or less all of these things. So there's always something there for everyone. As the internet moves forward, as I identify what you want, I'm kind of moving into this idea of storytelling. I love a good story, and I want to share with you some of my experiences of being British, while at the same time helping you to present yourself and to be motivated. So, my channel and my idea is that what I'm giving you here will cover a number of functions. One is to motivate you. One is to give you new vocabulary. One is to introduce you to the mind. And another is really just to take the wisdom of an older British man. The strange thing about what I've just said there is probably about looking at the mind. Now, you can call this whatever you want, but when you come to learn something, it's all about your belief system. If you believe you can do it, you will. And if you don't believe you can do it, then you won't. And that's what links language learning into something much bigger and deeper. You can call it what you want. You can call it spirituality. You can call it neuroscience. You can call it metaphysics or the study of the infinity. Or you can simply call it life coaching. Whatever you call it, it doesn't really matter. But I would really encourage you to be on that pathway of being open enough to ask yourself quite simply why you're not succeeding, or just in general, what's pushing you forward. So there's a few things to think about there. As for the video clips and the audio that I produce, well, sometimes I like to make audio outside. I've been making video clips of this area and also of things that I think you'll find of interest. I'm going to carry on doing that, however, I am aware of what it is that's popular and what it is that isn't. It looks to me like the video clips need to be a little bit shorter, maybe simply focusing in on idioms from the weekly lesson, which means that they'll be done mainly at home. But when I am out and about, of course, I will be doing video clips for you there as well. And where it's not possible to do video clips, there will always be plenty of podcasts, audio, and other things going around that you can listen to. So I just wanted to reassure you that I'm always looking at the statistics to ensure that I'm giving you something that you want. The problem also is labeling. If I tag something for English learners, it's not going to be quite so popular. And if I tag something as a news headline, well, the people I get aren't really learning, and they're kind of looking at the content and saying, that's a bit basic for me as a native speaker, because it's not designed for them. So I have this constant battle of content versus teaching and what's okay for everyone. And that is a little update from me. From September time, I think things will be clearer as to what you're looking for. My preference is always with voice. So the podcasts will always be there in some shape or form. Video clips, depending on the viewing figures, I'm not so sure, because I'm just aware that many of you aren't really looking at these. But if I make them shorter and more practical, focusing on idioms and bits of the weekly lesson, you should hopefully find that more helpful. Because there's no point in me going out to make video clips outside every day if it's not really what you want. Anyway, we'll see what it's like in the coming months, and then in September, I'll make some more decisions about exactly what things will look like. But the podcast will always be there, and the video clips as well, even if it's just to give you an idiom, at least for now, anyway. Well, that's a little update. I hope you found this helpful. Let's talk again soon. See you. Bye.